Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Holt from Exodus and formerly from Slayer, and you're listening to The Razor's Edge.
Jim, welcome to The Razor's Edge.
Hi. Hello.
So before we talk about the new album, I want to jump back to before the days of Mastiff. How did you first get into heavy music?
Well, it was, I know exactly the moment. It was Back in Black came out. So I was at primary school, 1980s, and this song came on Top of the Pops, I think. And I was like, oh, okay, I like that. Me and one of the kids who was at school with, we just both loved it. And that was the rest of the story. I'm still friends with the guy now, so yeah, we were introduced to it that way, and then obviously things like Iron Maiden come along and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, so you say Back in Black got you into it. So have you bought AC/DC tickets?
Yes, I have. I'm going to go see him in Dublin. We're going out because I've got a theory that this is probably the last time they're going to tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll go out with a bang. Have a nice day in Dublin.
Yeah.
Get absolutely trolleyed after. Enjoy the gig and then go and get wasted.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's the last night of the tour, isn't it, Dublin? So if it is the last time, you get to see the last show. So
yeah, that's the theory. Yeah. I was lucky enough to be in one of the videos as well I was in Rock or Bust as well. So I fluked my way onto that bugger. Yeah, I've seen them a few times. So yeah.
Yeah. So how did Mastiff come together? What were the beginnings of Mastiff like?
Beginnings of Mastiff. Well, been playing in bands for 30 years, and you accrue a circle of friends that are in bands, and then so our drummer and myself have been in bands for 30 years, like I said, and we've just played side by side in other bands and this band and that band and blah blah blah. And the previous band that I was in was called Blood Red Dawn. So Phil, our guitarist, was the bass player in that. And so we set off on this little journey and picked up Dan, our bass player, and Jam, our other guitarist, along the way.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the lineup. But that's been the lineup now for, I think, roughly about 6 years solidly. Yeah.
Yeah, so in a couple of weeks you release your fourth album, and I'll probably mispronounce this, so correct me if I'm wrong. Deprecipice.
Bang on.
Excellent. I went over it about 4 times thinking, how do you say that? Right. So yeah, that comes out in a couple of weeks. I've had it on repeat for a few days actually, and it's fantastic. So how happy are you with this album?
Extremely, sir. Extremely happy. I mean, you know, you'd be stupid not to big up your own stuff, but I mean, this is, you know, people have told us that it's a step up. So hopefully we can go from nice that it is a step up. It's everything we wanted it to be. I think, you know, it's a straightforward. Oh, it's not a straightforward hardcore album. I was going to say it's more hardcore than it, you know, than the last one. I think the last one had a lot more sort of death metal style on it, I think, compared to this one. I don't know why. I mean, people have been asking us why is it more hardcore? Who knows? We're just, that influence came out in the room when we wrote it, because we write live. So that's, you know, that's how it came about. So yeah, but extremely happy with it. Joe, the studio guy, captured us amazingly, because he knows exactly what we are now. So that's he's helped massively with that. So
yeah, excellent. And I do think it is a step up. Like other people have said, it does sound, it's a bigger sounding album, I think, than your last one.
Yeah, well, the guy who mastered it, and his name's skipping me. Oh God, that's gonna drive me mad. I can't think of the kid's name now. Bloody hell. Not Plotkins, he was on the last one, I think. Anyway, yeah, sorry. The guy who mastered it has done a sterling job on. I apologise to him profusely. You'll have to try and find that name, maybe. So, sorry.
We'll apologise to him in the comments as we post this. We'll put his name in there. So, what goes into writing a Mastiff album?
Yeah, without being too corny, blood, sweat, and tears. But yeah, it is a lot of sweat and a lot of tears. Metaphorically as well as, honestly, there's a lot of stuff gets written that is genuinely from the heart for us. So, we've had the track Void that was released last week. It was that's about Jam losing his mum, and probably if anyone's read other interviews with us before, then I lost a little boy when he was 5 days old, and all right, it's 14 years ago now, but it's still something I draw on to write lyrics and what have you. So, but I think this one was a lot more open for the rest of the band to write stuff. So, whereas before I've sort of written everything lyrically wise, it's maybe time to just release the reins a little bit and let other people have a say on what they want.
Yeah, I was going to ask about where your lyrical inspiration comes from, and you've mentioned it there. So, is it any different singing your bandmates' lyrics to singing your own?
Not really, because we're all very close friends. I don't know, it's again, it's a cliche, but we are very close friends. I feel honoured that Jam trusts me to sing lyrics about his mum.
Yeah.
So no, I always go into the studio when we're recording them, and I will throw myself at the wall for them. Yeah. We had to go back after for an extra day in the studio because I destroyed my voice on the recording days that we started originally. So yeah, it is. Yeah, we do put our heart and soul into it. So
absolutely, and I think that comes through when you're listening to it. You can tell when a band is engaged as compared to a band who's just going through the motions, and that comes through, I think, in the sound.
Well, I appreciate that you can hear that in it, because some people don't pick up on it or haven't picked up on it or whatever you want to say. So,
and do you personally pay attention when reviews and critiques come in about your new releases?
I look at it through, through like a guarded, a peek at it through the fingers sort of thing. You can tell when someone's not going to be that enthusiastic about it or what have you. So I tend not to take it too literal with those, because I don't know. Somebody writing a critique on it hasn't spent the time writing it. If it was another musician, I'd feel more upset that another musician would sort of say negative things about something, because in my mind, if anybody's capable of going into a room and putting their heart and soul into a record or into music or whatever, do you know what I mean? It deserves appreciation on some sort of a level, rather than just a negative thought on everything. We have had them, and I don't take them anymore. So I only read the good shit, put it that way.
Fair enough. So how soon after Leave Me With the Ashes of the Earth did you start thinking about following up that record with this one?
Pretty much. I think there was a sort of almost a bleed over from it. So some of the ideas were left over from Leave Me the Ashes. So we were sort of on it straight away. And obviously because of the timing, just coming out of all the lockdown and all the rest of it. So we sort of thrown ourselves straight into writing again. Yeah. I think really Phil and Jam are constantly writing, really. they've always got some sort of ideas, and we try to get a rough recording of them because we write the way we do in a practice room. It's, you know, we always try and capture some sort of idea.
Yeah. And you're on not a major label now, effectively, in MNRK Heavy. So do they put any pressure on you to churn out albums to a timescale or anything like that?
No. Dan, the label guy we deal with, he sort of gives us not a time scale. He gives us sort of what's the best way of putting it? A realistic sort of, right, maybe lads, you should start thinking about booking time in a studio rather than just we need a record now, because no one can. I think trying to write a record that way, it would be, that's when you do get the bullshit artists coming out and, you know, disingenuine forced records. So I think he's happy because he knows roughly every year to 18 months we've had a release. So that's sort of the timescale we work on.
Yeah. And how much help are they, especially compared to, you were on independent labels previously, how much help are they in spreading the word of Mastiff and getting you out there?
Massively. You know, they've just got the connections, they know the people such as yourself. They've just put us on a bigger screen, I guess. So they're brilliant. They don't like I say, they don't force us, but they've just opened so many doors. So it's been amazing, really, the journey that we've been able to have with them.
Yeah,
and hopefully long may it last, maybe. So, but we'll see.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Andrew Field and APF Records, because you were with them previously. And Andrew does a lot, especially with those smaller bands of the style of You and the Desert Storms and things like that. So
yeah,
where do you think you'd be today if it wasn't for people like Andrew and APF Records helping you out early on?
We'd still be some little bullshit band in Hull, not, you know, playing the odd gig here and there. And he opened our eyes, and again doors, as daft as it is, but he opened, you know, it's just when you aren't having to pay for the production values of stuff, not the studio time, because we paid for that, but when he's paying for physical copies to be done, it makes it so much easier on yourselves, because you're not having to think about it either. It's right, you're making the artwork and you're making a few decisions, but pretty much everything's left to people like, you know, Fieldy or whoever's running a label. So hats off to anyone who has got the time, money and effort to run, you know, little labels, little independent labels. I mean, not that APF are a little label, really. Everybody knows them, don't they? Everybody knows an APF band, at least, anywhere in certainly the UK, if not wider, you know, further afield. So.
Yeah. So thinking about live and touring, the last time we saw you, you were supporting Avatar. That not necessarily a pairing we'd expect to see on the road. So how did you land that tour?
Well, Avatar, you know, well, let's be honest, Avatar were on Monarch before, and MNRK. They were on the label, and prior to lockdown, we were offered, you know, the support slot. And then obviously it was put back a year because nobody dare go out, you know, rightly so, presumably, whatever, I don't. But so that's how we got it. But I mean, it wasn't just on the merits of you're on the same label. They did listen to, I don't know how many bands they listened to, but they gave us the okay and the all go. So you know, we can't thank them enough, because that experience was unbelievable. And for a band of, like, you know, a death metal, hardcore, whatever you want to call this band, to get to open for a band such as them, it was just unreal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Obviously, they've got a different fan base as well, so that tour is exposing you to people who've probably never even heard of you before. So it's getting you
Oh
out.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, and hats off to, not hats off, but like, you know, thank you so much to the Avatar fans, because they are the most open-minded set of fans that I've ever come across. I mean, I said to another person the other day that the metal snobbery, or whatever you want to call it, where I'm into hardcore, or I'm into this style, and I don't listen, I don't go outside the lines. And they taught me to, like, hang on, don't be a dick. Listen to everything. Give everything a bloody chance, because they are amazing. They are, you know, at the heart, I think they're, I wouldn't say a death metal band. They're maybe like a melodeath band, but they're still got the you know, the death metal sound, the HM2 sound hidden deep inside there. So I mean, sorry, I get rambling.
no, it's all right, and I think you're right. And not to go off topic, but if you listen to their last album, you get the normal Avatar songs, and halfway through, there's a song that sounds like it's a Monomarth, and then it switches back
Yeah,
again. So they have got that style there, and they do things like that. And
yeah. I mean, they're absolute fucking consummate professionals. They're just, yeah, they're musicianship, but you know, they were so cool. They were such nice people. Why wouldn't they be, really? Do you know what I mean? But they let us in, you know, with open arms. So it was cool.
yeah. So next month, in start of March, you've got an 8-date tour coming up off the back of the album. So for any listeners who haven't bought tickets yet, what would you say to convince them to come down and see you play?
What would I say to convince someone to come down and watch us? Well, if you like heavy music, and we are heavy, why wouldn't you come down? It's, you know, if we're on your doorstep, please come and see us, because you know, we're a fun, although we're a miserable band from a miserable city tagline, we are a fun band to watch. You know, I know I'm bigging myself up, or us up, but we always have a smile on our faces, regardless of what, you know, can go wrong, obviously, with, you know, stuff, but we always have a smile on our faces, and we get a kick off seeing people enjoy us. So, you know, hopefully we get some of your listeners and what have you come down and check us out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I highly recommend anyone to go and check you out. We've seen you at Bloodstock. We saw you on the Avatar tour. We've seen you countless places, to be fair. So if you haven't seen Mastiff before, you are a band to check out.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I mean, the bigger shows, they're harder to do because you're in such a vast area. You will get a band in your face if you come to this tour, because we like to see our audience.
Yeah. So after that tour's in March. So what does the rest of 2024 look like for you?
At the moment, we're a bit open to suggestions, really, or what have you, because I think people are sort of hopefully waiting to see where this album is coming from, what have you, and then they can maybe make some decisions on other things, supports, festivals, maybe, I don't know. We you know, everyone is vying at the moment. There's so many bands out there at the moment, aren't there? So everyone's vying for festivals and support slots and tours and stuff. So hopefully we'll get another little run, maybe somewhere later in the year, off our own backs. So we might come to cities that people make a suggestion on. So yeah.
And if you do land a tour later in the year, who would you like to be on the road with? You've done Avatar, completely different to yourselves. Who would you like to go out on the road with?
I don't know. I mean, there's the obvious ones, isn't there? There's your dream bands, your Slayers and your things like that. But I mean, oh God, who would I realistically love to support? God damn, I don't know. Anyone who would have us. Anyone who's daring enough to, or stupid enough to let us on their stage with them.
So you'll be opening for DC in Dublin then, yeah?
That'll be it. Yeah, yeah. If I get a sprint on and I can get across the stage.
So a final question for you. Obviously your album's coming out in a couple of weeks, but outside of that, what bands are you listening to at the moment?
Well, the new Not Loose came out today, so that was a little surprise drop. That track is fucking awesome. I mean, it's heavy track. But other than that, what do I listen to? I'm not one that like listens to just metal. So like everyone who probably follows us already knows that I'm a massive Taylor Swift fan.
You worn it. I've got the Taylor Swift t-shirt, the Mastiff Taylor Swift t-shirt.
There you go. So anyone, yeah. So yeah, I am an absolute nut job on that. But I listen to country music. I listen to, heavy rotation wise, though, presumably metal wise, because people want to hear what I'm really listening to metal wise. Malevolence, just because that album is unbelievably good. Wallowing, I love Wallowing. That's been on heavy rotation. There's a band called Underneath. I believe they're from Pennsylvania. Not that it makes a difference, but that album is fucking brutally raw. Acacia Strain's always on my playlist because they are one of my favorite bands.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to think what else maybe. Oh, Pearl Jam. There you go. Like I say, I listen to everything. So Pearl Jam, again, I'm going to go see them. So, they're all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite bands. So,
absolutely. So, Jim, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. Deprecipice is out on MNRK Heavy on March the 22nd, and I wish you all the best with it. It's a fantastic album.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us your time, and hopefully we'll see your listeners out on the road with us, hopefully.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with all of our interviews by subscribing to our channel. For all the latest news, reviews, interviews, and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.